Well now, what have we here? I know what it is. This is what I was sent a few days ago. These are the yoa nuts that I made the other things from. Do you want to have a look through? These are very interesting in their own right. Very, very beautiful. Put some water in them so you can see them. But these things, you can tell a lot from them just from what we're seeing here. And I can use some of my soil science background to help you out with these. Something to do with their formation. We'll have a look at a few more of these. I think they're very interesting. Here's a good classic example of that tribal pattern that we were talking about before. Really nice little thing. Huh. Got some other cockatoos coming. Maybe I should do one of those vids. Here's another one here. Now, those patterns are wonderful. And if you have a look at this guy here, for example, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. We'll have to move it out into the sunlight maybe. There is actually a flash of red right on the end here, which is very interesting to me. But as pretty as these colours are, there's something else that we can see about these things. Like I said, these are yoa nuts. They're relatively well known. This one is probably an excellent example. Can you have a look around the outside? This is a common problem that you get with them. They're what you would call in geological terms porphyrous, or full of holes. Now, I have no actual knowledge about the formation of yoa nuts. I've seen a little bit from the interweb on what's going on with these things. But what I can do is I can use my skills as a soil scientist to have a good guess as to what's happening here. Now, the first thing we can do is we can have a look at the colour. On the outside, we've got a bit of a yellow colour here. And on the inside, we've got dark brown to red that's going on here. That's actually quite significant. What I can tell you about that is that this actually gives an indication of what kind of iron oxide we are dealing with here. It's definitely iron oxide of some description that's leaching through the stone. So I'm sorry, chemists, if I get this the wrong way around. We're just going to say iron 2 is yellow and iron 3 is red. I think that's correct. If it's the other way around, I do apologise. It's very hard to find reliable information on that, and I remember this from years and years and years ago. So anyway, we'll just call the yellow one because it's easier, and the red one. So the red iron oxide is actually quite stable. It can hang into a soil profile or into a rock for quite some time. That's interesting. It does eventually get oxidized and taken away by water. Yellow, on the other hand, it's not very stable at all. It can easily get leached out of a profile or a rock, just, in a fraction of the time that it takes the red stuff to go. So what's going on here? We can see these holes are sitting in the middle of the stone, and we can see this yellow color on the outside. So what you can see is that this nut has originally formed as essentially just a chunk of iron oxide. But over the years, and I think these things have been dated to approximately 40 million years, over the years, just through the time and the gradual leaching of water, it seems that the water has oxidized the iron very slowly, because it would be in an anoxic environment, and left these little cavities. And I'm suggesting that these cavities are then infilled by opal. I think that is what's going on here. So that's probably how the yoa nut forms. And so I reckon that this guy is a little bit underdone. You'd have a nice trouble pattern if you just waited, a mere 2 million years, I reckon. But either way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to a friend of mine, and maybe we'll even get a video out of this one. He works with epoxy resins and stuff like that. He's actually got a company which, manufactures them, and he loves setting things in epoxy. So what I might do is I might ask him to stabilize this in epoxy for me. So I'm not going to touch it for the time being, but I am planning on giving some of these away. But this is going to be in the future. I'm just showing you what they're like. Whoever gets this one is going to be very lucky. I love that pattern. And this one here, I think I'll stabilize that one first. So who would be the lucky people? Well, have a look at these. I'm a relatively unsubscribed YouTuber, but Jeff Holmes and Wolf at 5095 have been starting to comment in the comments section. They've been really quite encouraging to me, so thank you very much. Not at this moment. I'm going to have to stabilize these guys first, and I might actually cut them into something nice. Well, you tell me what you want. I'm happy to send these out if you give me some details. All right, that's all for Dr. Phil for the time being. Dr. Phil out.